Suppose we are at work, eating lunch with a friend, when James walks past our table. Our friend watches James get on the elevator, and then turns to us and says, James got that promotion because he's black. How do we respond? Do we support our friend's prejudiced view? Do we take another bite in silent indifference, or do we scold our friend for giving such a remark? What about if our friend were Hispanic or Asian, and not white, as some might assume? It is likely our own racial and cultural identity would affect our answer. However, whatever their response, there are two outcomes. The first is indifference, letting our friend maintain his or her beliefs, while neither confirming nor denying our own. The second is the expression of a negative attitude. We either support a prejudiced view of other groups, or have a negative impression of those who do. There's also a chance that our friend could eventually suffer severe consequences under discrimination policies. Now, suppose we say something like, I'm happy for James. He works hard, and he has the skills for the job. This possible reply is different from scolding our friend because it promotes a positive view. This third outcome demonstrates that allophilia, the like or love of others, should be used alongside anti-discrimination policies to reduce prejudice thinking and not just deter prejudice actions. Dictionary.com defines prejudice as an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand or without knowledge, thought, or reason. Prejudice is an irrational, negative view, usually of groups different from our own. Though negative, prejudiced behavior relates to several of the needs in Maslow's hierarchy, as the following diagram shows. When we have prejudiced views, we tend to think of other groups as threats to our safety. This is common in neighborhoods with one dominant group where outsiders are viewed with suspicion. Once I had gotten lost in Columbus, Ohio, and was walking through an African-American neighborhood. Everyone kept staring at me as I walked by, and eventually someone approached. What do you need? He asked. Directions, I replied. No, seriously, he said. No one like you comes here unless they need something. The man, or rather the entire neighborhood, knew I did not belong, and assumed my reason for being there was not a good one. A study in the journal Psychological Science suggests that low self-esteem makes us focus on and express negative aspects of other groups to make ourselves feel better. When we fail to get a promotion, for example, our low self-esteem may result in searching for a scapegoat, a boss who hates us, or the person who got the promotion. It's easy to think we didn't get the job because the other candidate is of another race or gender, and not because we lack the right skills. It is easy to see how prejudice relates to our need for belonging and love. The very nature of prejudice is that it differentiates us from them, though often unfairly. I can assure you, growing up in a town where prejudice was common, it is hard to correct close friends and family when they show prejudice, because we identify ourselves so closely with them. Anyone who has laughed at a racist joke while playing cards with their buddies, or used derogatory terms to insult a friend can understand that, even though we may not agree with our group's views, we rarely argue against them. With today's increasingly globalized world, reducing prejudiced behavior is important in business, politics, and travel. Discrimination laws, such as affirmative action, the Disabilities Act, and Title IX, are all ways to reduce prejudiced behavior through a penal system. Basically, prejudiced behavior will result in punishment for the offender. What these laws do not address, however, is the attitude or values behind the prejudiced behavior. In fact, it seems logical that such laws could reinforce prejudice. If a white man is prejudiced against blacks and is punished for firing a black man because of his race, he now has a personal reason to dislike black people rather than just stereotypes and ignorance. As Todd Patinsky, the foremost researcher of allophilia, wrote in Looking Both Ways, ending prejudice is insufficient. We must also promote feelings of kinship, comfort, and enthusiasm for groups other than our own. Allophilia is, almost literally, the exact opposite of prejudice. Rather than an unfavorable opinion, allophilia involves a positive attitude towards other groups. This does not mean sympathizing with other groups, because that denotes a sort of condensation. Rather, when experiencing allophilia, we become happy for another group when it achieves a goal, equality, for example, or improved education. Us and them does not necessarily become we, but our views of them change from negative ones like they smell or they're dumb to positive ones like they contribute a lot to society. The following chart shows that allophilia also better meets the needs related to prejudice. The positive attitudes of allophilia, unlike prejudice attitudes, promote beneficial relationships between groups, making one see the other as less of a threat and more of an ally. By taking pride in the achievements of individuals from other groups, or the group themselves, our colleague from lunch might still have felt low self-esteem for being passed over for that promotion, but would also be happy to see that James obtained the position because of his qualifications and not his skin color. A larger in-group only enhances our feelings of belonging. Finally, because other groups' goals also become our own, we meet self-actualization needs whenever a group progresses. As I said earlier, discrimination laws only deter the expression of prejudice feelings and do not change the negative attitudes towards other groups. What makes allophilia a wonderful supplement to existing discrimination law is that allophilia promotes unprejudiced attitudes by promoting feelings of kinship and genuine affection for other groups. Discrimination laws help reduce prejudiced actions, while allophilia-based policies help reduce the negative views that lead to prejudiced behavior. In conclusion, we can safely say that prejudice is a common, yet unsightly part of our society. Discrimination laws are nice ways to promote equality for non-dominant groups, because they keep people from expressing biased dispositions. However, discrimination laws are not enough to truly rid society of negative attitudes between different groups. What we require is something more positive, something that makes us rejoice with other groups when they meet their goals and help them bounce back when they fail. We not only need to reduce prejudice behavior, but decrease prejudice attitudes using allophilia based policies. Thank you.